No one believes me when I tell them what I saw. My family laughs. My friends say I'm crazy. I tried telling someone at work and now I'm being forced to talk to a psychiatrist. He pretends to believe me, but I know he's lying. If he did, he wouldn't have given me these pills. He says they help clear my mind. They don't. They just make everything foggy. But I know what I saw. I wasn't imagining it. The worst part is that everyone says that I was alone in the woods that day. But I wasn't. My brother was there with me. My parents keep telling me I'm their only son. They've shown me old photos and videos. He is not in any of them. But I know he exists. Sometimes I think I can still hear him. And I know I can't save him. So I'm writing this here. I don't know what else to do. This is the only way I can try to warn people. This happened a few months ago. Just outside of town. We were hiking like we always did. We liked wandering through those mountains, getting lost in the forest for hours. He always walked ahead of me. Said I was too slow. Everything felt normal. At least I thought it did. Until we saw something that didn't belong there. A small concrete cube. It tried to blend into the landscape, but failed. Grass had grown around it. Birds had built nests on top of it. Roots crept through cracks in the walls and wrapped around a rusted metal door. We usually never cared to explore abandoned places, but we couldn't look away from that entrance. It felt wrong. Like it wanted to be opened. We had to cut through the roots just to reach the door. It took both of us to force it open. Behind it were stairs going down into the ground. We tried the switch beside the entrance. Only one light turned on. Far below us. At the bottom of the stairs. We hesitated. We should have left right there. I don't know why we didn't. I remember feeling it then, this pressure in my chest, like something was waiting for us to come down. We kept one hand on the rail and made our way down slowly. When we reached the bottom, a hallway stretched out in front of us. The floor was more dirt than tile. The walls and ceiling were covered in webs, but there were no spiders anywhere. The lights flickered, but they worked. The hallway led to a larger chamber. Rows of wooden tables stood on both sides, and small rooms beside them. Everything looked abandoned, but not destroyed. We checked every room around the area. Most of them were the same. Tables. Beds. Dust. Nothing that explained why this place existed. Until we reached the last one. It looked similar to the others at first glance. But this time we heard something. A faint sound coming from one of the walls. My brother frowned. Do you hear that? I nodded. We stood there in silence, listening. Then we heard it clearly. It made my skin crawl immediately. A deep and steady rhythm. Thumb, Thursday, Thursday, thumb, thumb, Thursday, thumb, and again. Thumb, Thursday, Thursday, thumb, thumb, Thursday, thumb. It never changed. It never missed a beat. Drawn to the sound, we searched the room. Everything was arranged like the others, but the dust was different. It formed a pattern, a curved line across the floor. It led from one of the beds to the wall. When we pushed the bed along that path, something shifted. A harsh white light flooded the room as part of the wall slid open. Behind it was a smaller room. The air inside was warmer, cleaner, too clean. There were lockers along the walls. A single lamp on the ceiling and another metal door stood in front of us. On the floor, a cigarette but was still smoking. My brother grabbed my arm. "Someone is here." He looked at the dust on the floor, then quietly took off his shoes covered in dirt. I understood and did the same. We opened the door slowly. Beyond it was another staircase. This one was different. Clean. Well lit. No dust. And the deeper we went, the louder the drumming became. Thumb Thursday Thursday thumb thumb Thursday thumb, perfect. Almost mechanical. It never changed. We walked for a long time. It felt like over an hour, but I can't be sure. The staircase didn't seem to end. At some point I stopped thinking about turning back. The sound was all I could focus on. When we finally reached the bottom, we stepped into another chamber. It was about the same size as the one above, but completely empty. No tables. No rooms. Just two doors and a large window on the far wall. I don't know why, but I felt more trapped there than anywhere else. We moved toward the glass. Beyond it was a massive cave. Stalagmites rose from the ground like pillars. Stalactites hung from the ceiling above them. Harsh industrial lights lined the walls, flooding the entire cavern with a cold glow. And in the center stood something that didn't belong. At first I thought it was just rock. A pale formation twisted into the natural stone around it. But the longer I looked, the less it made sense. It wasn't T-shaped like rock. Or at least I don't think it was. It looked layered. Folded. Like something pressed together over time. I couldn't stop staring at it. Until the drumming pulled me back. Thumb Thursday Thursday thumb thumb Thursday thumb. My brother stepped away from the glass. The sound, it's not coming from the cave. He was right. It was coming from below us. We leaned over the edge of the window frame and looked down. Several meters below, built against the stone, was a raised platform. At its center stood a massive drum, made from the same pale material as the thing in the cave. A man stood in front of it, striking it with slow, steady movements. Behind him were others. Dozens of men in dark uniforms. They looked like soldiers, but I didn't recognize the uniform. They were pushing a large machine toward the platform. It had thick wheels and mechanical arms folded along its sides. They lifted it beside the drum. For a moment, nothing changed. The man kept playing. Then the machine moved. One of its arms extended over the drum. A metal rod lowered slowly until it hovered above the surface. The men stepped back as the arm struck. Thumb Thursday Thursday thumb thumb Thursday thumb. The rhythm didn't change. For a few seconds, everything felt normal. Then something in the cave moved. At first I thought it was just a shadow, but the shape in the center had changed. Part of it lifted, a fold of pale surface peeling away from the stone. Then the glow appeared. Deep inside it, something smooth began to shine. Not reflecting, glowing. My brother gripped the edge of the window. "It's moving." Before I could respond, something lashed out. Too fast to follow. The man at the drum was gone, pulled away in an instant. The glow intensified. It wasn't tea light. It felt like it was looking at everything at once. And then the thing screamed. The sound shook the entire cavern. The men in uniform rushed forward, but as they got closer, they slowed. Running turned to walking. Walking turned to standing. The purple light spread across the cave and over them. One by one, they stopped moving. The thing in the center began to unfold, rising from the ground, reforming. Some parts looked like mouths, more than one, layered inside each other. I couldn't really process it. The scream grew louder, until the ground beneath us gave way. For a moment, we were standing on nothing. I don't remember hitting the ground. I must have blacked out. When I opened my eyes, we were on the cavern floor. Close. Too close. Pain shot through my leg and I almost screamed. My brother covered my mouth. "Not now," he whispered. "You can cry later." We stayed low behind some debris, hidden from the light. The soldiers stood motionless in front of us. For a long time, nothing happened. Then some of them started moving, slowly at first. They walked toward the thing, climbed it, and threw themselves into it. No one screamed, not even when they disappeared. Then the rest turned, all at the same time, looking toward us, toward me. I froze, stopped breathing, and waited. But they didn't look away. And eventually, I had to breathe. That was enough. They started moving, coming straight.